Today I'm presenting my lesson, Understanding Refugee Journeys and Experiences. I've designed it for Stage 3 and it links to the HSIE outcome, HS3CWT01, where students create written text to communicate ideas and understanding about people, places and events of the past and the present. The lesson uses Freebody and Luke's 4 roles of the reader, which are code breaker, text participant, text user, and text analyst, which guides students from understanding language to thinking critically about meaning. I've chosen the Behind the News Story World Refugee Day because it presents real refugee experiences in a way that is easily understood as well as engaging for students. It is also a reputable show that has been educating students in Australia for 50 years this year. The learning intention for this lesson is to understand refugee experiences and express ideas through writing. By the end of this lesson, students should be able to explain why refugees leave their country, describe what life is like for refugees in Australia, and write 2 postcards from a refugee's point of view. These goals help students move smoothly through each reader role, from understanding language to expressing and analysing meaning. Students' prior knowledge would include Stage 2 learning about communities and how people live in different places. They should already know how to engage with educational videos, which prepares them to start as code breakers, noticing how visuals, words and sounds all communicate ideas in media text. We begin the lesson by watching the BTN Story World Refugee Day. At this point, students stay in the code breaker role, making sense of vocabulary like refugee and resettlement and recognising how narration, images and music create emotion. This builds the foundation for deeper understanding later in the lesson. After watching the clip as a class, students will discuss questions such as what emotions did you feel and why do people move between countries? Here they move into the text participant role, connecting emotionally, sharing ideas and relating to the refugees' stories to their own feelings about belonging or change. In Activity 1, students will work in groups of 4 to answer questions like why did they leave and who helps them feel welcome. This continues the text participant role, encouraging collaboration and empathy as students share perspectives and construct meaning together. The students will also be offered the chance to share their thoughts through with the class. In Activity 2, students re-watch the video and discuss questions such as who is telling the story and who isn't. At this stage, they are working as text analysts, questioning the purpose and perspective of the media. They begin to see that text represents some voices while leaving out others, developing the ability to read critically. In Activity 3, students become text users by writing 2 postcards, one from a refugee child in Australia and one from a child still waiting in a refugee camp. They express feelings, hopes and experiences, using language for a clear purpose and demonstrating their understanding through creative writing. To finish, students are again able to share their postcard with the class and reflect on what they have learned about migration and belonging. This helps them consolidate understanding and connect the emotional and critical aspects of the lesson. I've decided to use a student self-assessment as well as teacher observations to assess students. This allows the students to reflect on what they have learned as well as include teacher observations. Finally, I have included additional resources such as BTN teacher resources, the picture book The Little Red Refugee by Anne Arndo, and a link to resources from the Refugee Council of Australia to extend learning and provide further perspectives if teachers wish. Across this lesson, students have moved through all 4 roles of the reader, decoding as code breakers, connecting as text participants, creating as text users, and questioning as text analysts. Thank you.